Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the Wednesday edition of the Carolina weather video for this 23rd day of June. Heat, our biggest weather story around the region, and in fact today and tomorrow the hottest days of this stretch of hot weather we've had that's engulfed us for a good chunk of June. I'll talk about that, plus I'm going to take sort of a detailed look again at the tropics and our disturbance down to the Caribbean Sea. I'm going to do that at the tail end of this video, but a lot to talk about with that as well. A lot I want to show you this morning. Now let's get back into our weather here across the lower 48 and storm reports from Tuesday night. The most concentrated activity again back in the Plain States, and then as you got up into the Mid-Atlantic states as well. Across the Carolinas into North Georgia, a few sporadic wind reports, and that's probably what we'll see again for today. The radar quiet in our region this morning. You have a decaying area of rain in the upper New England states, and then another very powerful area of thunderstorms that's affecting the Midwestern states. In fact, a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect with that activity. A couple of severe thunderstorm watches actually, and several severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, like I've been showing you, these peach or pink shaded counties, however you want to look at it, those are heat advisories. A lot of that back in the Mississippi Valley and the Plain States, and we do have some of that now in the Carolinas, the coastal plain, getting into those heat advisories. Places like Fayetteville and Myrtle Beach and Wilmington included in that heat advisory. In those areas, there'll be heat index values over 105 and even approaching 110 degrees for a good chunk of this afternoon. Current temperatures, these are 4 a.m. Eastern Time temperatures, and I want to kind of draw this line for you. This is the 75-degree temperature line. You get back here in the Plain States, and it's over 80 degrees in a number of spots. So it's just a hot pattern and a lot of spots. And this is the upper air chart for today off the GFS. There's that 594 decameter ridging all the way from the desert southwest into the Carolinas and northern Florida. But if you're looking for some heat relief, I think it's coming. Look at the chart here for the upper air pattern, 500 millibar pattern for 8 a.m. Wednesday of next week, so 1 week from today. And a lot of the modeling is on board with this scenario. Showed you the NAO kind of going to the negative category around the very early part of July, and there you go. Nice trough. If that does indeed come to fruition, I think odds are increasing that it does. We could be looking at some 80s for highs for a few days in a row and much lower levels of humidity. That would be nice. But boy, nothing cooler or less humid about today. We're looking at mid to upper 90s across the Piedmont for highs today, and there will be a few late-day storms. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has gone ahead and put out a slight risk from northeast Georgia into the upstate of South Carolina and much of North Carolina. And, take it for what it's worth. I do think there'll be a few storms around, and what storms do fire could certainly produce some damaging wind gusts and some frequent lightning. So we do have that slight risk out for today. Now let's go out to tomorrow. More of the same, just a few late-day storms. Tomorrow, I think a lot of upper 90s for highs, even some triple digits in the Sandhills. So just a scorcher of a Thursday is on the way. Friday, a weakening frontal boundary drops in, a little better chance for some scattered showers and storms and some low to mid-90s for highs, and then that front washes out over the weekend, so the heat will try to build again. A few storms possible Saturday, highs in the mid-90s, mid to maybe even some upper 90s again on Sunday. But next week, that's when things begin to more substantially change. Monday, pretty good chance of some scattered showers and storms with a much stronger cold front moving through. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we likely begin to see some of that cooler air filtering in. All right, let's go to the tropics. And our little disturbance not looking terribly healthy this morning. The National Hurricane Center has that area in a low probability of development for the time being over the next 48 hours. There's the satellite imagery across the Caribbean, and really the area to focus on for potential development is right here. That's where things are trying to consolidate. A couple of things we look at to see how likely development is. First of all, this is wind shear, and I know if you haven't looked at this chart before, this is a little weird to look at. The color shadings, that is the analyzed wind shear. And the areas that are outlined in white, that's where the wind shear has been increasing over the past 24 hours. The blue areas, that's where the wind shear has been decreasing over the past 24 hours. Not a tremendous amount of shear right on top of the system. There is some shear north and west of it, but nothing that's just crushing in terms of shear. Another thing we look at is I know this is right at the edge of the screen in terms of the Caribbean, is the Saharan dust layer, or the dry air off of Africa that sometimes squelches tropical development. That's certainly not a problem in the Caribbean Sea. So a lot of things going for this in terms of potential development. There's the computer model spread with this, and the model's unanimous in eventually getting this into the Gulf of Mexico, whatever can develop. A couple of the specific models here. This is the European. It is by far the most bullish in terms of developing this. And this is a look, let's see, this is Wednesday of next week at 8 a.m. and it has a hurricane sitting near the mouth of the Mississippi River. Some of the other models. This is the GFDL. It has a tropical storm a little west of the mouth of the Mississippi River, out at 126 hours. Hurricane Wharf, same kind of idea. Tropical storm getting close to the mouth of the Mississippi River, 126 hours from 0Z today. So, the general idea with our little potential tropical system here is that there is still the chance of development. Nothing happening at the moment that I'm cutting this video, but a lot of the modeling is still indicating this will develop into a tropical system, the European being the most bullish with that at the time I'm cutting this video. So something to watch. Whatever develops likely winds up in the Gulf. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Stay cool. Be sure to check on those you know that don't have access to air conditioning. And the air quality also in that code orange category. So try not to spend any extended period of time outside, especially the elderly and the very young. All right, that's it for today. Have a great day, and God bless.